Welcome back to the course on how to create a chatbot with Laravel. In the previous lectures, we created a Laravel project, installed a Messenger package for PHP, and created a Facebook app. Finally, we're ready to communicate with the Facebook API. We're going to do this by creating a webhook. But what is that? If we look back at the graph we've seen in the introduction, we're going to see that we need to find some way to respond to a user request. So how do we get to find out if a user sent a message to our Facebook page? This is going to happen through a webhook. Webhooks are callbacks that are triggered by an event. After a person sends a message to our Facebook page, the Facebook API lets our server know that something has happened. And afterwards, our bot knows what to do with all of this. In this lecture, we're going to learn how to create a controller to deal with all the communication with the Facebook API, how to create a webhook, and to verify this webhook with the Facebook API. So let's start by opening our project in Sublime Text 2. So let's start by creating a route first for our webhook. So let's go to routes and web.php. And there you can also see our home page right now. So if you go to the root folder of our local host, this is what we see, a view called welcome, which goes with a new Laravel projects. So now let's create a new route for our webhook. So let's go for a new. When we access /webhook, we're going to call, let's call it Messenger controller later, and then add webhook. So function webhook from our Messenger controller will be called after we call our localhost /webhook. So that's how our route looks like right now. And to create a new Messenger controller, let's go to our terminal. So if we go there, we can create it by using PHP artisan make controller and then a new name. So convention is to just use a descriptive name and put controller behind it. So let's just do that. And now Laravel does it for you. Nice. So our controller is created. So now let's go back to Sublime Text. And there's a nice command in Sublime Text, a command P to search for files. So let's just do this and open Messenger controller. We need to do one more thing before we start building our webhook. Remember the classes we looked at in the example repository for the Messenger package? Here they are. And the classes Facebook bot app and the message class, which we both need to use in order to communicate with the API and send a text message to a user. So let's just copy that and paste it on top of our Messenger controller. Nice. At a later point, we might want to use more classes, but that's the only two that we need right now. And now we need to create a new webhook class where our route points to. So let's just create a new public function webhook. And to see if it works, let's just return this is the webhook. Let's go to our browser, open our localhost to /webhook. This is the webhook. Nice. So that works. Now we need to set up the verification process for the Facebook Messenger API, and this gets a little nitty-gritty. So let's look at some slides here. In the verification process, Facebook sends a GET request to our webhook together with two parameters. One is a hub verified token. That's just a random string we can create on our own and submit it to Facebook in the verification process. And a hub challenge, which needs to be returned later so Facebook knows that this is our bot. So first, in the verification process in our webhook, we need to check if the hub verified token is the same as our local verified token that we previously created. And then afterwards, we need to return the hub challenge so that Facebook knows everything is all right, so that Facebook can verify our webhook. And that's all we need to do now. So let's try to set it up here. First, we need to check if the verify token is the same as the hub verify token. So we first need to create a local verify token. Let's just do that. Local verify token, which we'll also put into our environment file. So let's just call it webhook verify token. So let's just go to our environment file and add that. So right below the page access token, we can also add the webhook verify token and can just call it anything, like something 1, 2, 3. And now if we go back to our controller, we need to see if the local verify token is the same compared to the hub verify token. So we need to find a way to get the hub verify token first. And we can do this by using an input class. So hub verify token, because the hub verify token is one of the parameters. We can do input get hub verify token. So our input class uses the parameters that come with a Facebook's GET request and then gets the verify token. So now we need to check if that's the same. So local verify token is the same as hub verify token. And if that works, great. If not, let's return error there. Okay. So afterwards, if it's the same verify token, we have the first step. So now we need to return the hub challenge. The hub challenge is also being called with our input class get. So that's it. Let's just try it out. Let's just call the webhook. So something didn't work here. The error message tells us that it can't find the input class we used to read the parameters from Facebook's GET request. This class is usually available, but it can't currently be found under the alias \input. So let's change that. We need to go to our Sublime text and need to go to config/app.php. And there, if we scroll down to aliases, you can see all the different classes that can be called from whatever file. And so let's just add the class input here. Input. And now it should work. If we go back to our webhook, it now says bad verify token. Of course, I didn't use a parameter here, but I could use a parameter here. That's what Facebook does. So if I say like hub verify token is something 1, 2, 3, that's what Facebook does, and hub challenge, which would be, I don't know, some random number or string, it returns the hub challenge. So that's basically what Facebook does to verify our webhook. So now we can do that. Now we can go to the Facebook developers platform and verify our webhook, which was our main goal in this lecture. So that's where ngrok is really, really helpful. So we can just go to the tab where ngrok has our web address set up, go to /webhook. Of course, it's just the error message here, and copy that. And now let's go back in this tab of the developer platform and go to setup webhook. And here we have our callback URL. Just paste it here. And the verify token is the one we previously put into our environment file, something 1, 2, 3. Right now, we only need to check the messages and the messaging postbacks and the messaging opt-ins. We don't need more, maybe at a later point. But let's just try to verify it now by clicking on it. And it worked. verification is complete. So now we need to select the page and subscribe the page to it. And now it works. So we have our webhook verified. And in the next lectures, we're finally going to let our bot say hello. So we're first gonna let our bot receive messages by user, and then afterwards we can return a message. Nice. So see you later.